Okay, good day, great teens. Hope you are doing well. This is our first drama video for this term. Yay! Okay, guys, so as I explained to you in class, when we go online, I will firstly focus on the theory. Okay, so let's get the theory out of the way, do the boring stuff while we're at home, chilled, and we can't interact with one another. And then when we come back on the 15th of February, we are excited and ready for the practical. Then we can all focus on the practical and take it from them. Okay, so this term is basically all about what is drama. Okay, so drama is quite a broad term. There's been so many discrepancies on what exactly the definition of drama is. Some people say it's a play, some people say it's performing. There is such a broad spectrum on what is drama. So we're going to delve a little bit deeper into that. Okay, so according to the philosophers and drama specialists, drama is the Greek word meaning action. Okay, so even though this is quite a nice definition, Greek word meaning action, it's also quite a broad term. So there's been people who said, okay, if drama is just an action, then that means the trees waving, the cars moving, the grass moving, insects moving, all of that is actually drama. So, in actual fact, everything is drama because everything that moves is an action. So, there's even been discrepancies that if you give that definition, which is such a broad definition, then a teacher standing in front of a class teaching is a drama, is a performance, which it is. If you take all the other definitions which says there has to be an audience, so there's kids in front of me, there has to be a story, so there's the beginning of a class, the middle of the class, and the end of the class, there's a storyline. And so looking at nature is also a drama. Looking at the trees move. It's a spectacle, it's something that is, it has aesthetic value, so it is pretty to look at. So all of that is actually drama. But now we're narrowing it down to the Greek word meaning action. So drama means action. We play through doing. Okay, so isn't that what we do in a classroom setting as well? Especially in drama, we pretend to be certain things or to do certain things in order to learn something. Okay. Using your voice and body to tell a story. Okay. So I use my voice and I use my body to tell a story. So a teacher does exactly that. We use our voices and our bodies, we move around in the classroom, and we educate you. We tell stories. Drama allows you to engage in situations that you would normally not encounter. This we call the imaginary world. Okay, so imaginary world. What a nice definition of imaginary world. It is an engagement into a situation where you won't normally find yourself. So if you imagine, you don't imagine being at home in your bed or in a class or no, when you use your imagination, you are normally in a situation where you won't, in a normal circumstances, find yourself. Okay. A place can be compiled through improvisation. Okay. We all know what improvisation is. Improv. So there's a little definition of it. It's important to remember. Improvisation is the activity of making or doing something not planned beforehand. So you create something, make something that was not planned beforehand, using whatever can be found. So if you just do improv in class and there is a pile of books next to you and you take it, you do whatever it was whatever you want with it, then that prop was not planned. It wasn't put there, planted there for you to do the performance. It's an unplanned performance using whatever you have around you. In the performing art, it is a very spontaneous performance. So spontaneous, it's not planned once again. So it's spontaneous. Whatever comes to mind, comes to mind. You use whatever you have around you without specific or scripted preparation. So there's no preparation, no script beforehand. Okay. So improvisation, to sum it up, is something that is not planned beforehand. You use whatever can be found around you. It is a spontaneous performance and there's no script, prepared script. Okay, drama is the most natural way to play. So when you think when you were little, everybody played make-believe, used their imagination to play. So that's why they say it's the most natural form to play. Because putting on some facade, being something else, is something that becomes natural to us. For example, when we are little. Okay. So when we play, when we perform, we have to have empathy with a character. So in our first class where we discussed characters and what we're going to do and so on, you guys said to me, why can you not just perform someone without knowing their background, without knowing where they come from, without putting yourself in their shoes? Okay, so with every character that you perform, you have to have empathy with the character. So what is the difference between empathy and sympathy? Okay, empathy is understanding how the person feels. So, in actual fact, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Okay? So, taking on their role and empathizing, understanding what they go through. Sympathy, in a short and very to the point definition, is saying, ach, shame. Okay? You don't understand the person, you don't know what they're going through, you just feel sorry for them. That is sympathy. Feeling empathy for someone means that you really understand what they're feeling. You are going through it with them. So to give you a definition, an example. So if you watch a movie and someone's mom passes away and you have never had someone close to you pass away, you go, oh shame, the poor girl. Okay. However, when you watch a movie about someone's mom who's passed away, and your mom has passed away, or someone very close to you, then you feel empathy for that person. Because it's almost like you can see yourself in that person. And the feeling that you feel for them then is empathy. Okay. Very important, the difference between sympathy and empathy. Okay. So, drama can be used for three different purposes. Firstly, to teach. Okay? So that we call drama in education. Okay, so that is, for example, a children's theatre performance where you are taught a certain thing through interaction. So it's not necessarily a performance, but it is a process that you go through with children, making them do plays and so on to educate them. So you will give them, for example, scenarios and say, you are the bully, you are the victim, act out what will happen if the one takes the other's lunch. And through that, they learn how the bully feels, how the victim feels, and comes up with a solution themselves. So it's not a performance. Drama in education is using performance to learn something. Okay, that is to teach. Then you get drama to rehabilitate people. Okay, so now we have drama for education. So there we have drama in education. You educate through drama. Okay, now we have drama for education. Okay, so that is where a performance is done to teach a lesson. Okay, so the majority of children's books for children's plays, I'm so sorry, but this flippin' lawnmower. Anyway, I hope you can still hear me. Okay, any children's book, children's plays, children's movies is normally drama for education. So a performance is done for you to learn something in the end. That little lesson that you learn in the end, that is drama for education, to rehabilitate people. Okay. And then thirdly, the most obvious one is for entertainment. So that is if you go and watch the circus, if you go and watch a dance performance or whatever the case may be, but you watch it for entertainment value. There's no real message at the end. There's nothing to learn. It's really just to entertain. Okay. So now we get to the origin of drama. Origin meaning where did drama start? Okay, so the first forms of drama was said to be in the church. Okay, so this was at the middle of the medieval times. Now the medieval times were the dark times. It was the times where there were a lot of war. There was hierarchy was very definite in the world, and the rulers ruled, and below them was the lower class. So in this time, even if it was quite a hierarchy focused world, the church played a big role in the medieval times. Okay, so the church ruled and everything that they said went. Okay, so the church would put up sermons like we have today, where the pastor would, they believed, educate the people of the time. Okay, so pastor would stand in front and then give the sermon to the middle of the lower class people. They weren't really middle class people. And in giving the definition of drama and keeping that in the back of your head, the church sermons was seen as the first performances that were ever dealt with. Because if you think about it, it is there to educate the people, so it's a form of drama, of performance, as well as performing to an audience. So there is a person in front who speaks to an audience. So obviously, the church was not too happy about this, because you can imagine you telling your minister or pastor every Sunday you give a performance. Okay. But it wasn't actually said in a bad way. It was just the definition of a performance correlated with the ceremony of church. Okay. So then people took church stories and started telling them as performances and left the church sermon to be a sermon. And then they said, okay, let's educate the people on the Bible and on church things, and then perform church stories to them. So from it being a performance in church, they took it out of church and performed. The first stories that were told were those of the Bible. Okay, so this is where a lot of the genres that we are going to deal with this year and next year originated from, because they would have a chorus singing, which if you go to Greek theatre and how Greek theatre is put up, that is where that originated from. That chorus, like in the church, that sang songs, they took out of the church and put into the performance. So that is where that originated from. being in front of an audience. The stage setup where people almost sit in like a half moon type of formation to speak to the people. So that is where the performance came from. Okay, guys, so the slideshow ended a little bit abruptly there at the end. So I just added a new blank slide. So this section focuses on the origin of drama, the definition of drama. So when we get to class, we'll discuss this a little bit more in depth. This is basically the theory that you have to know for your written exam, but we are going to delve a little bit deeper into it and discuss it a little bit more. So I want you to really go through everything that's in the video and start asking your own questions and giving your own opinions when we get back to class. Thank you very much for listening, guys. I really enjoyed this lesson and I can't wait to get back and see you guys again. Thanks, guys.